Hey everybody, welcome to Saturday. Typically don't throw out announcements on Saturday, but I'm out here in my garage in my happy place waiting on some poly to dry on a desk and cabinet that I'm building. So thought I'd take time to grade some of your book reviews from last week. And it's kind of a theme that emerges every now and then in different classes that is starting to emerge here, so I want to talk to you about it. The assignment for week 7, let's don't talk about book reviews, they're in the past. The annotated bibliography, I provided an example of that, what I'm looking for. Hopefully that helped. Not going to give you an example of a good rough draft. That kind of defeats the point of you coming up with one. But I did want to talk about something that's starting to show through in this class. As you read the rubrics, because back in week 1 I told you I was very rubric centric, and I appreciate those of you that have been sticking to that, and a couple of you have reached out and we've done some Zoom calls and talked about how to approach the work. There's 2 sections of the rubric, and for the final essay you'll see there's a prompts section that has 4 prompts, and then if you go down a couple of pages you get to the grading portion of the rubric. A lot of students are stopping at the prompts. They're just going, okay, that's what I need to write about, and going forward. That's not working out well for some people. You need to go to the last couple of pages and look at the rubric scoring. And that's where those criteria are that you are being evaluated against. And I know we're at the end of week 6 going into week 7, and you're like, hey, Tony, you should have said that in week 1. Well, thought I'd conveyed the message. My bad. So we're trying to correct course at this point. Here's my suggestion. Before you start writing the rough draft, go to those last couple of pages of the rubric. There are 9 criteria that you're going to be evaluated on. The last criteria is always articulation of response. So let's put that to the side for now and focus on those other 8 criteria. I would strongly suggest that you make an outline, and not an outline of this is what I want to cover and this is what I found interesting, but an outline of what's on the rubric. And I would start that outline with historiographical development, Roman numeral 1. Drop down a few lines on your word processor. Reasons for the historiographical development. That's Roman numeral 2. Roman numeral 3, historiographical context. Number 4, credibility of sources. Number 5, significance of the topic. Number 6, impact of the topic. And then 7 and 8 really fit well together. Identify gaps in the historiography, and then analysis of future directions of the historiography. That's 1 through 8. Roman numerals. Go back in and put your capital A, capital B below that, each one, those main points, and then under A and B, put little number, Arabic 1 and Arabic 2 under A, and put that under B, and fill that out. Look at the rubrics and say, what does he mean when he says under historiographical development? And under proficient, it says, provide a narrative of the development of the historiography on this topic that demonstrates how historians' approach has changed over time. That doesn't say, give him a narrative of this event. That says, provide a narrative of how historians have looked at this topic over time, from historian 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, however many you've got lined up. And fill those gaps out like that in your outline. Now you can start writing that final essay. What I've really found over the last few years of teaching is people hate doing outlines, and grad students really hate doing outlines. But doing this will keep you from missing key areas of the rubric. You'll cover the prompts, sort of, maybe. Okay, we thought we did. And then you get disappointed when you see that you've left off an entire section on the credibility of your sources. So for the credibility of sources, you need to say, hey, this author was a professor emeritus at this university. They have written 20 books. One of their books won a Pulitzer Prize. Just a sentence or two to establish that the book you're using is better than Wikipedia. Okay? And it's an academically valid source. A couple of weeks ago, I threw an announcement out there for you to go look at about what is a scholarly source. This would be a good time to make sure all of your sources meet that threshold. You know, if you've got questions, reach out to me, m.caldwell@snhu.edu. More than happy to spend a half hour on Zoom with you at night during the week if that's what we need to do. If we can fix it over email, great. Just, take advantage of the time, right? Appreciate the last 6 minutes of your attention, and, happy hunting.